Hi, good morning. Get started in about 2 or 3 minutes. Let a few more people filter in. Oh, Sabrina, let me see if I can make you a panelist real quick. Hi, Gustavo. No, we can't hear you. So this is webinar style, so I cannot see or hear any of the participants. But if you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the chat. Yep, no problem. All right, it's 10:30, so perfect. It's 10:30, so we're gonna get started right on time. The slackers will just have to join late. My name is Elizabeth Pankhurst. I'm the project coordinator for GMI, which stands for Grow Manufacturing Initiative. We're the ones that are hosting the virtual hiring fair that is happening on Tuesday. We have a great lineup of manufacturers and other companies there. And before I go too further, I'll let Sabrina, Sabrina, do you want to just introduce yourself really quick?
Sure. Good morning. My name is Sabrina Marquez. I'm the outreach coordinator for the Grow Manufacturing Initiative.
So you guys are lucky in that you're going to get an inside peek at all of the companies that are attending. So I'm going to post that list right now. So this will give you a heads up where you can go in and research what positions are open for all of these companies, and then also go in and have good questions and comments for the recruiters. And we'll get into a little bit more of that as we continue. So between Sabrina and I, we've edited hundreds of resumes, and we've been through many virtual hiring career fairs ourselves, and I've also been a part of the organization that helps host the Chico State career fairs. So between you, Sabrina and I think you're in good hands. So if you have any questions at all as we go, feel free to put them in the Q&A or in the chat, and we'll go ahead and get started. So first thing I want to talk about is what exactly this particular virtual job fair works. I'm going to assume that many of you haven't attended a virtual career fair before. I know that we haven't, so this is a new experiment for us, but a lot of the principles remain the same, and we'll get into that. For this particular job fair, I don't know how many of you have registered for the one on Tuesday. Sabrina, would you mind in the chat putting the job seeker link in just in case they haven't registered yet? You'll see all of the employer booths, and those will be visualized by their company logo, and you can click into those booths and begin chatting with recruiters. When you're in that booth, you'll also be able to click on something called open positions. And when you click in there, you'll see all the positions that are open. And from there, you can submit the resume, which you've already uploaded to your profile in this Premier virtual software. Some of these companies are going to be having video, and some will just want to be doing the chat. And so depending on what booth you go into, you may want to ask to go further and say, oh, can I talk with someone over Zoom or in person? And they may say yes, and they may say no. And just because they say no, that's not them shutting you down. It just means that they haven't elected to have the video up. And that's why having good grammar when you're chatting with someone over Messenger is going to make a big difference when they can't see you face to face. Let me see if there's anything else. The neat thing too about the booths is the companies can link their website and any other applicable information. So they might have links to YouTube videos. So going in there, actually clicking on those links and then coming back and talking with some knowledge that you went into those links is going to already give you the one up on other people. So what's it like to attend a virtual job fair? Some of these companies are going to have 2 or 3 recruiters in there and immediately message you back. Some others might not message you back immediately. It's going to be up to you on how far you want to take those conversations, but remember to get the person's name and their position so that when you come back to them or you want to call them, you know exactly who to ask for, and that's going to give you the one up again, just like making sure you're asking good questions and being knowledgeable about the company. See, improve your opportunity. Yeah, asking engaging questions in the chat. Yep. Okay, cover that. Okay, of course, check the tech and your appearance. So you want to make sure that you are ready for a Zoom or face-to-face. Make sure that your audio works and there's good lighting. They can see your face. Another important thing is going to be body language. So making sure you're smiling, looking at the camera, being engaging, just like you would in person, but it makes it a little bit more different when you're over Zoom because you can't exactly read people as well. And so making sure you're keeping that smile is going to let them know that you want to be there, you're interested in what they have to say, and you are wanting to be hired by them.
Add something?
Yes, please, please.
So because this is a different format, you know, it being virtual, with that said, make sure that whatever's behind you, make sure you want it seen or not seen. If you don't want it seen, please be courteous and mindful of what your surroundings are. And it is, I mean, act as it is a job interview. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, thank you. And that's a good point with pets. Probably close the door. Don't have your cat on your lap. This isn't, Friday night with your friends. Yes. Oh, Sabrina's. Oop, that went to all panelists. There we go. Let me think. Lighting. I said the lighting thing. Background. Quiet too. If you have kids or barking dogs, try to make sure that there's a place where that's not going to be picked up in the background. What to wear. So you're going to dress like this is an in-person interview, and not only is that for you to look professional, but it's for you to feel confident in yourself and make that first good impression. So by business professional, we mean blazers, a nice blouse or a button-up shirt for men, and then slacks or skirts, either one. And then also, Sabrina, do you have anything to add on that? I don't want to just glaze over the dress thing, but
no, I mean, I think you covered it. It's pretty self-explanatory and
yeah. And if you don't know the difference between maybe business professional or business cocktail or business casual, just Google it and they'll put each one next to each other and it'll be very evident about what you should be wearing if you're looking for examples. And practice your elevator speech. So you need to be prepared for someone to put you on the spot and be like, well, why are you applying for this position? Why are you a good fit? What even makes you interested in this company? They want to know that the time they're investing is going to be in someone that is interested in sticking with the company. They're not looking for a 3-month position. They're looking to hire you guys for the long term and have someone that they can grow and build with their company. All of these companies are local manufacturing companies. Most of them have been around for a long time and they want to keep people. A lot of them are family companies. They don't want this high turnover. So make sure, these are great positions, but you do have to sell yourself because they're not going to sell you to them. So make sure you have really good answers as to why you want the job. If you have any questions on that, and we can maybe even go through a quick little demo, or I don't know if I can give people the ability to share their screen, but what I'll do is I'll put my phone number in the chat, and so if you want to practice your elevator speech with me, you're more than welcome to call me. And also, YouTube is a great tool. You can go through many people's elevator speeches. Before we go to the resumes, I'm going to share with you a YouTube video. Now, bear with me, this guy is a little bit creepy uncle vibe, but the content that he gives is really important. And it's gonna give you a couple tools that you can use when you're in the chat. What he is talking about is in person, but the same principles apply if you're messaging someone or going over Zoom with them. Let me reshare my screen.
So before I dive into how I would spend my 5 minutes, I want to talk about what exactly not to do, because I think it's the biggest mistake that people make when they go to these things. Now, about a month or so ago, I did a blog post titled "The #1 Reason Why You Do Not Get Hired." And I would take a look at that video and that post because it's the same reason why you don't get called back after a job fair. And it has to do with the individual or the job seeker spending an awful lot of time trying to get out everything there is to know about them, or what they think are their highlights, or what they think are their best attributes or most hireable skills. It's a big mistake. You might spend a lot of time talking about things that, while great about yourself and you're fantastic at, the employer doesn't care. The employer doesn't need to know that. The employer is looking for something else. So what I would do to make sure that you can spend those few minutes where you're getting to tell them about yourself is I would figure out exactly what they need to know and what they want to hear. So what I would do is I would go up to the person who was working the booth, or whoever was taking the resumes or feeling the insight from from the job seekers, and I would say, hi, my name's Andy Lasavita. I'd love to share a little bit about myself and learn about your company. Before I do that, could you tell me what you're looking for in an entry-level candidate? Or could you tell me what the most important skills are in whatever position it is that you are looking to attain? And then give them a minute or two to share with you, well, we're looking for somebody with this kind of background or these kind of skills or these kind of traits, detail-oriented, great communication skills, engineering students, whatever it might be. Collect that insight right there. They'll give it to you in a minute or two. And then when you have your couple of minutes to share yourself with them, just highlight how you match what they're looking for. Now what you're doing is you're giving them exactly what they need to understand about you, and more importantly, you're planting some breadcrumbs in their mind that are going to make you memorable. Boy, that John Smith, he seemed to match exactly what we needed. We need to call him back. And what most of them do right then, as soon as you leave, is they put a little star or a 1 or a 2 or a 5 or a 10 on your resume because they're talking to so many people they can't possibly remember everybody. But in that instant, they'll put a gold star on yours and you'll likely get a call back. So I hope that helps. That's how I would spend my 5 minutes. So just to recap, introduce yourself, be bright, be positive. Say, so that I could best share my experiences with you to help you know whether I'm a good fit. Can you describe what you're looking for in your entry-level candidates or whatever position it is? And then spend your couple or 3 minutes describing how you match that. All right, until next week, have...
Something that I would like to add to this is, go back over here. Instead of just saying, yeah, well, I am detail-oriented. Well, anyone could say they're detail-oriented. But what's important is saying an example of how you are detail-oriented. So you could say, yeah, in my last role, I really enjoyed reading through the project tasks and making sure that we captured every single thing. Or some specific example of you exhibiting that skill. Let me go back here. So let's see. Are there any questions on that, on how to interact? I think we could probably spend a good amount of time there. So I don't want to just rush over it. Feel free to throw questions in the chat as we go or in the Q&A box. Share. Just check in the chat to see. Okay. So I want to just really quickly review the 30-second pitch, just what he was saying, because it's super important. Introduce yourself concisely, 2 or 3 sentences. This is my name. I'm interested in this position. Can you tell me a little bit more about X? Specific question. Don't just say, tell me what your company does. Please do not ask these people what they do. You can Google it. And then once they give some, oh, we're looking for someone detail-oriented, that's where you go in with the example. Yes, I can send the link. In fact, I copied it and I forgot to put it in the chat.
I just wanted to add one thing for just based on what you said. It's very important that you ask questions about the culture of the job as well. I mean, you're going to be spending the majority of your time there, even if depending on your title and your position, but you want to make sure you're a good fit and you're happy there too. So make sure you're asking engaging questions that involve your experience there as well. So I think questions are probably one of the most important things. I usually have millions of questions by the end of the interview.
Yeah, thank you, Sabrina. That is a really good point. You're interviewing them as much as they're interviewing you, and this is one of the best job markets we've seen in a really long time. So don't feel beholden to a certain position if it doesn't feel right, because you won't be happy and they won't be happy in the long run. Yeah, great point. So for the resumes, I don't know if I can have people share their screen on here, or if anyone wants to, but I was going to go through maybe some live resume editing, and maybe you could post your resume in the chat and we'll see if we can bring that document up. But of course, make sure there's no grammatical errors. The best way to do this is to have another set of eyes look at it, because even the best editors in the world have a hard time editing their own grammatical errors. Ensure the format is easy to read. If that means you have to eliminate a skill here or there, I would say that's the better, because if it's 9-point font and you've shoved in as much stuff as possible, they're probably not going to read it. And I think, Sabrina, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the general rule is for every page, a resume page, it should be about 10 years of experience. So if you have 2 decades, you could expand to the 2 pages. Yeah. And then be concise, eliminate any unnecessary words. So if you can eliminate words like and, to, as long as it's still grammatically correct, try to take out those filler words. That, I think, sometimes can be overused as well. This.
And make sure you have your best contact information on your resume and it's legible and it's large enough. Too many times I've seen where there's a typo in an email and then, one typo on an email address, you're not going to get that offer letter. So.
Yeah. And something I do personally is I actually take off my personal mailing address. It's not exactly necessary. And if you're in Chico and you're open to going to Reading or vice versa, you don't want to deter an employer from hiring you because they see that your address is maybe an hour or 2 away, as long as you know where the company is located and you're fine with either commuting or moving. So yeah, make sure, email address would be an important one to not mess up. So we're gonna go, do you have anything else to add on the resume, Sabrina?
I don't know. I mean, I think you covered it.
Okay.
Grammatical errors, I think, are the number one.
Number one. And I know that some people like to get a little fancy with their resumes. I don't want to tell you not to. My personal taste is simple, easy to read. But if you're going for maybe more of a graphical design position, yeah, go ahead, comment on that one.
I was going to say, I mean, there are many apps or websites such as Canva, and I'll put that in the chat right now, that have templates that are already pre-existing. Same with Wix. They have templates if you wanted to do maybe you don't want a LinkedIn, but you wanted to do your own website. They're very, very, very simple templates and they're free. Very limited in what you're able to actually use, but I mean, your about me, your contact information, your job experience. That's really the only things that you need on there, and that's exactly what's available on these websites. So I'll put that up.
Perfect, thank you. So if anyone has resumes that they would like us to review live, we won't, go crazy or anything and put you on the spot, but this is a good opportunity just for everyone to learn. So feel free to, if you can, copy and post it in the chat. I don't know if it'll let you though. Thank you, Raina. Raina is saying that AFWD's website also has resume templates. Raina, if you don't mind throwing the link in the chat, but if you don't have it, no worries. Okay. So I know I had an hour on there. I really should have put a half an hour. But if you guys have any questions, this is the time.
I want to add just because the virtual hiring or that virtual lobby, when you're selecting each company, I mean all the links are user friendly. Definitely utilize the YouTube channels. I know that Lumberg Family Farms got some great videos. You really want to learn more about what the company, what their culture is, and what they manufacture. I would suggest watching those videos. Visit their social media links. You can get a lot more than just the about me. Definitely do your research, and that'll help you with your questions as well. The more research you do, the more questions that are basically just going to come up. So definitely utilize all that.
Melissa, I saw that you put your, it probably didn't let you paste the whole thing in there. It looks like it cut you off, but we can look at the first part. Perfect, yep, looks good. All right, let's read the first part and then Sabrina and I can comment on it. So you start out kind of describing, would this be describing yourself, I'm assuming? Results-driven customer service professional with more than 10 years of experience in solving technical issues and providing sales support. Able to consistently deliver quality customer support in high call volume environments while managing multiple computer applications. Strong communicator, well-versed in conflict management techniques, and committed to empathetically identifying and assessing customers' needs to achieve satisfaction. Passionate about achieving a safe and efficient workplace. That's pretty solid.
So
I like how you.
I'm assuming that's at the top, right?
Yeah, I think this would be the top, and then it goes down into experience, and it just, unfortunately, it didn't let her paste all of the text, but.
I know that on LinkedIn too. I mean, if you're ever having an issue with, how do I sell myself? What is my experience? If you put in all of your experience and you build out your profile and you go to your headline, they have a generator and they'll generate different descriptions based on your experience. And they're 1 to 2 sentences. And so I don't know if that'll help anyone. But different ones will get generated. It's not the same one every time, and then you can definitely edit as necessary.
This is really good. I would say, I mean, if I had to pick something out, you could take away able to, as that's just filler. You put consistently delivers, just to shorten it up. And you know what this would be good to morph into is actually a cover letter. So kind of paragraphs like this are good for cover letters. Yeah. And I think AFWD, I don't know if you're familiar with them, Melissa, but I think you can call them and have one-on-one help with your resume, or even not help, maybe just someone to look it over and give you the thumbs up so you feel confident on Tuesday. Yeah.
Specifically the job seekers.
Job support for large. Yeah, this is good. And how you have numbers here. Yep. And then another thing I totally forgot, thank you for bringing it up, Sabrina, is making sure your LinkedIn looks good. That would be also another thing you can link to on your resume. So it should be up to date. It should match. I know that I always look at people's LinkedIn. That's the first thing I do when someone submits a resume. So thank you, Raina. She sent over, I don't know if you guys can see this, but the phone number. So this is to set up an appointment to go over your resume. So this is the phone number. And it sounds like they have a computer lab too. So if you don't have a computer at home, you can go utilize this. Phone number 4. And for those of you who don't know, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I would definitely utilize the Alliance for Workforce Development. I think I've heard this around Butte County, but they're Butte County's best kept secret.
Yes,
And
I was going to say.
Workforce development supplier in the region, and they have just unlimited opportunities for everybody, and they're definitely a great asset.
Yeah, thank you for describing. I didn't even think to describe what they do, so thank you. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my email in here. Feel free to email me. I'll be available today and Monday. and to make sure we can get you the right resources. So if I'm not exactly the right person to answer a question for you, we'll make sure that we get the right person for you. That's all I have. You guys are going to do great. I'm so excited to see all of you there on Tuesday. Yes, and Sabrina just put hers in too. So both of us are here to help you guys, and there's some great companies out there, and they're all have been hiring for multiple positions. I think some companies are hiring for like over 20, some of the bigger ones, and a lot of them have 3 to 10 positions open. So there's a lot of opportunities, and don't be afraid to apply for something that maybe you don't have the exact fit or the exact experience. For the right person, I know a lot of companies are going to be willing to work with you and help you get there, especially if you have the other skills, like you're a good team player, you're motivated, you show up on time, and you're just really driven about doing well. Yes. Okay. Good luck, everyone. I'll hang out a little bit, and feel free to leave as you want, but if you have any questions you just want to ask Sabrina or I, not in front of everyone, feel free. We're here. So throw them in the chat or the Q&A. Oh, yes, thank you, Raina. All of those resources with AFWD are free, totally free.
And if you follow us on social media, we do promote a lot of AFWD events. They do promote, or they have resume building workshops throughout the months, and we do promote that on our social media, so, and on our newsletters as well. So if you're not, if you don't receive our newsletter, definitely put your email in the chat and we can go ahead and add you to the distribution list.
Megan, go ahead and email me your resume. And if you want, we can stay on the line live here and go over it. Melissa, I think that if you look at it with the fact that you have so much experience to bring to a company, that it's really a benefit. And I mean, people are, no matter what age you are, people are concerned, you know, even at my age, I feel too young to apply to things, or, you know, that I don't have enough experience, and that's your benefit. So I
also think that in this current climate, that job or that employers are a little more open-minded, and they're a little more willing to what's the word I want to say? They're a little more apt to just like experience and jump into something that they wouldn't typically do. So I've noticed that a lot more employers are kind of releasing old stigmas and going in with an open mind, which can be very positive and have good outcomes. So it's a mixed bag, but I wouldn't be too concerned, especially during the current climate of the world.
Yeah, we don't want to dismiss your concerns, but I think that you've got, from based off of just a little I saw off your resume, you have a lot to offer a company. So
seems like you have those personal soft skills as well, which I know that most employers, and I mean, if we want to make it an age thing, most employers can't find that in youth right now. So that's definitely an advantage.
Oh, really? Do you think because you're worried that people look at that and think you're too old, which is illegal, first of all? Yeah. Gosh, I don't know. I'm trying to think. To me, it just seems like such a benefit of having someone who's worked with that many different personalities and people over the years. No. Good. That was our hope, is that having this kind of one-on-one where we can go over what to expect and just make everybody feel confident going in on Tuesday. Like, everyone has something to offer, and it's just about finding that right fit, in my mind, in my personal view.
It's just those pre-interview jitters where you're just like overanalyzing, overthinking, and it's not never as bad as we assume.
That's
We
true.
always assume the worst.
I always get nervous.
Which is, completely normal. So if you guys have a routine that kind of allows you to relax or you can definitely do that.
Just looking at my email to see if, I think it was Megan. I'm watching my inbox, Megan, just in case you send it over. Now, Megan, did you want us to go over it here, or did you want me to just email you back individually? Oh, no problem. I know. There's always something, connection or something now that everyone's using the internet.
That's another thing. Make sure you have strong internet connection on the day of the job fair.
Yeah, if you have to disconnect everything else, just make sure the kids aren't playing Warzone in the background, video games.
And I also have some like how to prepare for an interview pointers. So after this, I think I'll send it over to you, Liz, if you wanted to forward it over to the participants of this.
And then Wendy and Raina, I will make sure to send you contact for the attendees, just so you can make sure they're getting attention they need and preparation, since that's what you guys offer. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and close it out today. I don't have anything else for you guys, but Megan, Sabrina and I will get back to you individually and make sure that you're getting the attention you need for your resume. And of course, everyone else is absolutely welcome to send us your resume, and we'll connect you with the right people at AFWD, because they are awesome and they know all of the open positions, not just with manufacturing. So not to say that manufacturing means you can't be from a different industry, but they know all the companies, so we'll make sure to get you hooked up with all of them. All right, thank you guys so much for your time. You're gonna do great, and we will see you on Tuesday.
Good job, Liz. Good job, everyone. Good luck.